Catalyst Swarm operations. We have the funded proposals for the idea phase, what we did, the challenge phase and the afterthought. But next to it, we have the Swarm operations, because besides organizing these community events, you have all this operational stuff behind as well. But you also have another thing in Project Catalyst, that there are a bunch of highly engaged and committed community members which engage full-time just in supporting the community, providing guidance, information, help, documentation, or whatnot. And mostly for those people, it's extremely difficult to find any rewarding model which fits to them, because it doesn't really fit into a proposal for them individually. So what Swarm Funds does is to say, oh, okay, we narrow it down in some main activities, ask for a certain budget, and forward distribute this budget to first examples. We say, oh, okay, they're acting in those roles. How can we reward them? And the first Catalyst Swarm operations proposal was written in Fund7. It was also meant to be a concept draft proposal to say, how can projects which do not only build product, but which engage all the time in the Catalyst infrastructure, how can we map them out a little bit and say, this could work as a proposal, this could work to define your activities, KPIs, measurements, whatnot. And Swarm Funds, in this regard, acts as a socio-financial funding mechanism, which sends the money to those which are highly engaged, which generate a lot of value to the community, and has first example in place on looking, okay, how does rewarding models in reality, hands-on, actually roll out. And with the whole thing, we first came in beginning this year, where we added Stephen Wittenstein, who is the founder of Q&A as well. And he documented all the Catalyst Swarm genesis on Gitbook and established this whole standard of documentation for our community as well. This Q&A is much focused on governance projects, especially. And Stephen, for example, one of the guys spends, I don't even want to count the hours per week, but from his own proposals, as their own budgets are forwarded to contributors as well, can't even make a living from it. Because if he would need to make a living from it, he would need to raise the budget for his proposals. And then you run very likely that the community says, no, this service is too expensive, we can't pay it. So what Swarm does is to add support funds to those people. And the very first test one was with Stephen Wittenstein, like explained, then Kaiser. Most of the people in the Catalyst went twice. Can't count how often about cases, which helps so many people just to find their way in Project Catalyst. So we see already another example, really, and then the third example, this was voted by the Swarm veterans, was me, to say, hey, yeah, Felix, because you spent a shite lot of time in Swarm building it up, would be nice to reward you as well for this activity. Then we just added the tools, Zoom, Miro, Adobe Illustrator, and InDesign to make for all the graphics, and later the Swarm Kitbook as well. Here we see already evolution from new people and projects have been added. First, this was the part when we kicked them in with the after town hall team, and we said, oh, okay, adding them to the Swarm Funds. And there's Natalie, self, Peter, yourself, and Nadim listed as well. And now we see, for example, with last post that we once again doubling, because now with the Catalyst Swarm Funds Operations Fund 8, we have a totally new budget on which we can calculate together with after town hall, idea fest, challenge fest, and the outstanding funds from last funding round for the close of report. And here projects are coming in now where at very first, for example, we have the Catalyst Circle admin team, where Pete is a part from as well, for example. And in Fund 8, the Catalyst Circle and the Catalyst Circle admin team hasn't been funded, which means the whole Catalyst Circle and the CC admin team runs on volunteer base. And from the community side, set with Swarm, okay, that we support the CC admin teams with a support fund as well, because they're really important to make sure things are moving ahead. So we added Andre and Miroslav, who are the treasurers, JP, who is one of the secretaries, Nori, one of the facilitators, then Phil Koo as well, one of the main driving person behind AIM tool, which extremely struggles as well, simply make his living like many of us. Then we have Light Nation, because they created this really awesome platform as well for Project Catalyst, where you can put people on proposals and whatnot. The problem is nobody knows that this is paid from Darlington Flay, the founder of Light Nation, out of his own pocket. He don't have any funds to build those platforms. So we've proposed him, hey, we can pay you simply for the maintenance of the platform already, that he's able to submit a proposal for Fund 9, then receive the funds, but for the next 4 months, we at least can pay for the maintain.
100%.
Dominic Tillman, one of the Swarm veterans from the very beginning of Catalyst Swarm already from last year, you will develop some very first example and pilots for Catalyst One business model. We have Howie, which is extremely involved in engaging, building the LATAM Catalyst School in general, and building the LATAM community. Then Jonathan Etchy represents here Fund7. They take charge of all the web hosting. Then Tivosex, member since Fund0. He was one of the 50 initially invited people into Project Catalyst. And since then, simply amazing person. And this is how the Catalyst Swarm treasuries are structured to say, oh, okay, we know projects or people which are doing amazing great engagement to the community, and we start to reward them. For sure, we can't add everybody, which I would love, but it's a decent start and an experiment in the right direction to develop community-driven social financial funding mechanisms, which are not bureaucratic, which are not extremely difficult to get through and whatnot. Simply having a look what is needed. Do we have it? What can we do right now? Once again, all the funds there are tracked: Discord, DWORK, GitHub, Gitbook.
Community tooling, and we're showing how to do it right here.
Long way to go. That's it.
Yeah.